Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents the DaveHolly Hour. Brought to you by TJS Ceramic Studio, Posh Boutique in the Bridges at 57th, The Sky & Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. The DaveHolly Hour features Sioux Empire arts and entertainment conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, DaveHolly.
Hard to imagine that in another 4 weeks it will be the 200th episode of this show. But here on episode number 186, we have plenty in store for you. In just a few minutes, we talked with visual artist and filmmaker Brian Bieber to find out what he used including his upcoming role microgrant for. Then we talked to yet another visual artist, Heather Ellyson, about how she enjoys using color in her work. Later in the hour, character actor Tyler F. Johnson talks about how much he enjoys those roles, as well as his upcoming part in They Promised Her the Moon and Mighty Corson Art Players. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show.
Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
Raise those glasses, mugs, etc. up high, no matter what you're drinking, no matter what you're drinking it from, probably dependent upon the time of day or where your situation might lead you to be drinking. But lift it and toast it to cooler weather, which means it will be a great evening to be at McKinnon Park for a free show from the Midtown Coffee Radio Hour. It begins at 6:30. Midtown's last show got a little soaking outside, but hopefully nothing that drastic tonight. Bring your lawn chair for Midtown Coffee Radio Hour's Park Day. The Weekend Eve Toast is brought to you by The Sky & Tea. The Sky provides all caps fun, and that is best had with friends. So have fun playing darts, shooting pool, have fun listening to great live music from local musicians, or have fun singing at karaoke. Need some extra room, holding a company party or maybe a benefit? The Sky's back room fits the bill. No matter what's going on at the Sky, it's local and it's lively. Honorable mention. So what tickled Dave's funny bone this past week? Made him laugh, guffaw, or just smile? Well, it was grateful for a wonderful evening and great music. Last Thursday evening, my love and I had a great meal at Maribella's along with our good friend Richard Corelli. Then she and I ended up at Bin 201 as the Haig brothers were playing outdoors. It was the last day of August, the last day of what they call the meteorological summer. And for the first time all summer long, they finally had a full band. Brothers Jeremy and John on keys, along with Andrew Reinhardt on bass, Dan Heyer on drums, Jimmy Spears on horns, and Joel Shotwell on sax. Tough to go wrong with that group. This week's honorable mention goes out to the Haig brothers. That's all. Later on, we hear from actor Tyler F. Johnson. Artist Heather Ellyson is around the corner. But up next, microgrant recipient Brian Bieber on the DaveHolly Hour.
Are you an artist? Need some funding to further your art? There's a great opportunity for you through a Sioux Falls Arts Council program. The Artist Microgrant program gives away several microgrants to local artists, no matter what art discipline you're in. Unlike more traditional grants, a microgrant is very easy to apply for. Go to artssiouxfalls.org. If you haven't done so yet, create a listing on the Artist Directory, which is beneficial in its own way. Then go to the Artist Microgrants page and apply online. The process is simple. Find out more about the Sioux Falls Arts Council as well online at artssiouxfalls.org.
Welcome back, everybody. You know that I always like to say that little line about it's always a pleasure to talk about Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. Well, this is our third episode of talking about microgrants. from the Sioux Falls Arts Council. We have with us today Brian Bieber, who is a new filmmaker and making some shorts and so forth. And we don't mean clothing, we mean short films. So you are going to, or needed the funding that you got from SFAC to hire someone to do some sculpting, making some masks and so forth, correct, for a movie?
That's right. So last year, I shot my first narrative short film. I'd done some documentary work before that, but I was kind of dipping my toe into the narrative worlds. And so that involved, it's sort of like a kind of quiet horror film. Nothing, no, it's not the kind of, not a slasher or jump scares, but just kind of, I guess sort of a disturbing little drama, I guess. And so that entailed props in a way that documentary does not. And so I reached out to Cameron Stallheim to see if he would be willing to make a mask that was kind of integral to the short, and I financed that with a grant from the Arts Council.
Oh, fantastic. And I think it's just such a great program that they've started. And, just to give people a little bit of a background toward it, that they do it quarterly, and they average giving out a pretty good number of them each quarter, too.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. And it is nice that because it's quarterly, you don't have to wait for that annual round to come around. And it's a small enough amount that the stakes don't feel crazy high, but it's so helpful.
Right. Yeah. It's still one of those things. I always equate X amount of money to what can that get me? How can that further me? And
exactly.
Was that the mindset you went in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like to approach arts grants in a way. So my background is in writing, which is a very solitary art form. So it's a lot of sitting with your thoughts, and then when you get them on the page, it's sometimes not even satisfying because it doesn't even look that nice. It's just words on a page. Could be an expense report. And so when I got into filmmaking, one thing that I really loved about that was the collaboration aspect. And so I like using an arts grant to pull in collaborators, because then we're also spreading the money around a little bit. We're, essentially doubling the impact, because, like, for example, in this case, I got exactly what I needed from Cameron. I got a beautiful piece of art instead of, and Cameron got some money in his pocket. So,
and you didn't have to figure out a way to do it yourself then.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean,
which in the meantime also meant that you could put your concentration elsewhere.
Absolutely. And, and by bringing in another artist, and an artist as talented as Cameron, that also just changed, it elevated the work itself, because it got me thinking differently about, like, how does this creature move? Amy Jarding, we also hired her to do some costuming. And so Amy and Cameron and I felt like I was like a kid in a candy store looking at their mood boards when they brought those in. And so their work really informed the way we shot the character that they were costuming for. And it ultimately informed the narrative itself, like the way we shot it, and it changed the course of it. So the collaboration for me is massive. It's a big deal, and it's such a treat to work with other people after years and years of being by myself.
And in terms of this film, where can we see it?
Well, it'll be. I'm hesitating just because we don't have the details locked down, but we're this fall we're going to be premiering it locally, and as part of a fundraiser for the Transformation Project. So hopefully, it's starring Dessa, who's a performer and a writer out of Minneapolis in New York. She's an old friend of mine, and so I think she's going to come to town for it. So we're going to do a fundraiser event, and the screening will be part of that. After that, it'll screen online as well. But so the details are forthcoming. Hopefully, we'll know those soon. But,
but in the meantime, we've got a lot of anticipation. We can wait for it. We know what types of things that we'll be looking for and so forth. What would you say to somebody that's thinking about applying for a micro grant?
Oh, I mean, number one, do it. I think also, I've since served on panels that have reviewed the grants. And so as far as tips, I would say, be very clear in what you want to use it for. Money is not, in the state, obviously we don't have a ton of money to spread around.
Right.
And so I was very cognizant, and I think the other panelists were also very cognizant of the fact that we don't have a ton of money to spread around, so we really want to make it count. So I think the more information you can provide, like the clearer you can be that you're going to do something that's going to have an artistic impact on the state or in the city with your money, that the more you can express that, the better.
Well, the thing that I love about it, you're talking about being very clear and so forth, but in terms of the application, it's mighty simple.
Exactly.
First name, last name, email, phone, zip, the art discipline that you have, and then what you're requesting, and then what would you use the funds for?
Yeah.
That's where you want to be the clear part.
Exactly. It's deceptively simple, because I think that's an opportunity to really show that you have a plan for it.
All right. Well, you obviously had a plan, and that plan is coming to fruition.
Oh,
and we look forward
crossed.
to when we can see that here in the fall.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
All right.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Dave.
And we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics. We have thousands of classic vintage ceramic mold items and several new items too. TJS Ceramics offers classes through the Sioux Falls Community Education Program and special open studio nights every Thursday evening. Bisque, studio time, or finished custom items are available. Visit TJS Ceramics Studio in Sioux Falls today.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
Follow the Dave Holly Hour on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, you don't even need a tape recorder or anything. Of course, who owns one anymore, right? In our digital age, but still, you know what Dave is going to say when he comes out of the chute for a new conversation. It's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire, arts, and entertainment. And quite often I will follow that up with, it's always a pleasure to have somebody new on the show as well. And that's the case once again. Heather Ellyson, how are you?
Hi there, I'm doing great. How are you, Dave?
If I were any better, I'd be twins. I've loved that line ever since I stole it from somebody.
Yeah.
But you are an artist, a visual artist.
Yes,
and what do you describe your art as?
Well, I guess it's kind of on an abstract level, kind of, but it also looks like things, so it's not like completely abstract.
Right.
My favorite thing with my painting is color.
Oh.
Bright colors. That's what I like.
Well, and that's what first attracted me to your artwork.
Oh, thank you.
Because the bright colors, because I love orange and purple, and that all stems from a memory that I have from 20 years ago. I saw a sunset, a South Dakota sunset, and it was reflected perfectly off the lake, and it was purple and orange. It was just so beautiful.
That sounds awesome.
But it's before we had cameras on our phones, so I didn't get it. So, but it's still up in the brain. It's just one of those things that I will never forget. That sight. It was so beautiful, and I think the first time that I saw you back in the old Books and Brews, when you had some things that you were displaying there, and you had a little table set up one time. It's like, oh man, I love that. It's a lake scene. And sure enough, you had purple and orange in it.
Yep.
Yeah. What got you started on this?
Well, let's see. It started. Well, it's all started when I decided I needed to take some classes online, and they were art classes at the Art Institute. And then I gained some skills there with drawing and whatnot, and shading and perspective, and then I got a part-time job at Michael's.
Okay.
And that's what really set it off. I spent my whole paycheck on art supplies there, and then I just started painting.
Employee discount too?
Oh, yeah. 30%.
Excellent. Hey, there you go. That's fantastic.
Yep.
So you started off doing some drawing and so forth, but at what point then, after working at Michael's part time, is that where you go, oh boy, all those colors and those tubes look really good, and I have to have them?
Well, for the color part of it, I would say, what's his name? His last name is Afromov. Leonid Afromov. He is my inspiration. I just love his stuff. So if you look at some of my stuff, it looks some of it looks kind of like his, but I don't use a palette knife like he does. I use a paintbrush.
Okay.
But that really inspired me there. And,
have you tried the palette knife?
Kinda, not really.
It just wasn't in your groove.
I don't think I can. I don't know. Maybe I can't. I will try it sometime, but
get back around to it. Were you always interested in art?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Ever since I can remember.
Okay. And arts in school and so forth?
Yep. I always took all the art classes.
Good. So you had it in the background there.
Yep.
That it was there. Had you done anything prior to taking these classes online that you were like, okay, I'm an artist?
No, actually.
It didn't feel like that until after.
Right. Well, my last kid moved out of the house too, and I needed something to do.
Yeah.
So then, so all those things mixed together, and I started painting.
What do you think most people don't understand about the visual arts?
It's what most people don't understand is that there's not just a meaning like this painting means this or whatever.
Right.
It's your own interpretation of it. Yeah. If one person thinks it looks like a shark, another person might think it looks like a blue jay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And interesting you bring that up because you mentioned the word abstract earlier. And I was thinking of this the other day. It's like, well, in some form, isn't all art abstract?
I think so,
because it's going to mean something different to somebody else than it does to you.
Yep.
So you mentioned who you're inspired by as an artist. What inspires you art-wise?
What do you mean by that?
Okay, when you start thinking of art, and what you want to do with it and so forth, is there a theme or is there a picture in your mind that makes you say, yeah, I want to sit down and I either want to draw or I want to paint?
I guess those kinds of things just come to me when, I mean, I do have to be in the mood to do it. But yeah, like if I have the block of time, extra time, and I'm not tired, and then I'll do it. But
now you've done a lot of things in small canvases.
Yep.
You stick primarily to that, or
I do them in all. I have them in all different sizes. Sometimes they're too big to bring to the art shows with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say I haven't really seen anything that you've done on a bigger scale.
Yep.
Do you get some commission work along with this too?
Yep, I do. I'm actually
great.
working on the biggest one I've ever done. It's a good friend of mine, Tom. He has an acreage out by Parker, and he took an aerial shot with his drone, and I'm painting that. I think it's 60 by 40 canvas. Ooh. Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, that's good size.
Yep.
What's it take to start when you've got that idea that just popped into your head? You mentioned. Do you go, okay, I got to go around the corners, I got to do something to the center? What's the focal point on a canvas for you?
I just start with a sketch.
Okay.
And then depends on the subject. Like I'll start. Sometimes I start with the background. Sometimes I start with the actual subject. But yeah, it always starts with a sketch.
Okay.
And it doesn't always look the way I see it in my mind, though. Sometimes it turns out a little bit differently.
Is it kind of a case where your art just takes over?
Sometimes, yeah.
I hear about that from people when they talk about writing, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Characters will all of a sudden come out of the typewriter or in this day and age, the computer on their own. And so that does happen in art then as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's just incredible. I love that. And like you said, colors is big for you, but I also know that it's not just putting paint down on a canvas or anything.
Right.
You do a lot more. I know that you sell some of those as prints and postcards and so forth. And then did I see that you also do some T-shirt design and so forth?
Yep, I've done some T-shirt designs. I haven't had a lot of success in that though, but I really like doing that.
Yeah.
I was a graphic designer for like 20 years.
Okay.
And designing T-shirts was always my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, so you get that knowledge as well. And when it comes to you being inspired and getting that idea, you put it down, you got the sketch. What are we talking about a time frame from when you first start the sketch to the end of that, and then when you started on the actual project itself after that?
Each one is different. I mean, some of them are more detailed, like that one I'm working on for my friend.
Right.
That's going to take a lot of time.
And obviously more time, just simply space-wise, too, on the canvas.
Yep. And then, like, I'd say, like, if it was a medium-sized one, like maybe a 16 by 20, that would take anywhere from 3 to 10 hours.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So at what point did you go, maybe I could get $1 or $2 for this? How long have you been doing the art shows, first of all, then?
Let's see. I had one at Black Sheep Coffee. That's where my first one was.
Okay.
That was probably, I think 2000, what was it? Thinking 2014, I think.
Okay.
And then, I went from there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're coming up on the 10th year anniversary of all that then.
Getting there, getting close, yeah.
Does it seem that long?
No,
or is
it doesn't.
One of those,
it doesn't really, no.
Yeah. You hit a lot of shows too, don't you?
I've done a few, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there one in particular that sticks out that you always say, ooh, here's one that I got to make sure I'm in again?
I did the Bazaart, however you say that.
Yeah, Bazaart.
Yeah, Bazaart. I've done
Sonny's.
that 2 years in a row. It was just really fun. I did do the art collective 1 year too.
Okay.
But my favorite one was actually at Books and Brews.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that was awesome. I
Missed
liked it
that
there.
place.
I know, me
Goodness
too. They had the best pizza.
They did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. And what is it like for you when people come by the booth or table or whatever you have set up and they start talking to you about your art?
Oh, I love it when they ask me about my art.
Yeah.
And I hope they buy something too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Has there been a really unique question you can remember? Or a comment that was made by someone?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always, when you're at shows and different things, you're going to have so many different people coming by and so many different opinions and ideas about art. I just wondered if there was ever some wacky thing off the wall that somebody had asked about.
I'll probably remember something after I go home, but I can't think of anything right now.
That's typically how it works.
That's how it goes, yep.
What do you like to see when you go to these art shows and participate, but you've got, I hate to say competition.
Yes, it is, though.
Yeah, but it is, because you want to make money.
Of course,
and the booth next to you wants to make money as well.
Yep.
But what do you think is your best advantage as an artist?
One of my best advantages as an artist at those shows is having affordable things to buy. Like my prints are $5, $10, and $15, and I got little magnets and stickers for $5. And some of the artists, they might have prints and stuff, but they're like expensive, And my prints, you can put them directly in any kind of picture.
True.
Any kind of picture frame. You can buy them at Walmart or wherever,
Yeah, or even unmounted. Just stick them on the wall.
I've never seen anyone else make cardstock prints like I do.
Yeah.
So I hope to be the only person doing it.
And one of the other things that I think is great about stopping by your booth every time, and I've made this point to others before too, is that when it comes to art shows, maybe it's because I'm drawn to people that have personality. But when I go past somebody's works and I'm looking at it, I'm usually expecting hey, anything catching your eye or some sort of comment.
Yep.
But there's a lot of them that just kind of sit there. And it's like, well, I realize, sometimes an artist might be an introvert. But by the same token, if you want to sell your goods and your wares, say hello at least.
Yep. If I see I'm looking at a particular thing, I might tell them a story about it or how I made it or painted it or something. Yep.
And one of the other things is you typically say, I also have that available in, and you'll give the other sizes as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so you've done well with it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. I like doing it.
Well, and that's the great thing. And, art is passion.
It is, yep.
And obviously, it's one of those things you can tell who's passionate about what they're doing too. And that's another great point when it comes to stopping by your booth. So what do you think is next for you in terms of expanding?
Well, you saw at my last art show, I started working with resin, and I made some resin skulls and jewelry.
Yeah.
I think my next adventure might be candles.
Ooh.
I love candles. Yeah.
And
Scented candles, decorative candles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
excellent.
I think that's my next thing I'm
well,
going to try.
Man, that's another great point, is that art can be in so many forms.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. And I think of some of the candles that I've seen in the past.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And talk about you with loving color. I'm getting some pretty good images going on right now. Do you have any one in particular that you're already thinking ahead? If I start this and do this, here's what I want to get.
I have things in my Amazon cart. I can tell you that. And you should see all the Save for Later stuff I have.
Yeah, my list gets purged occasionally because it's like, shouldn't have over 100.
No, I just leave my stuff in the Save for Later.
Yeah. Always a good way to go about it.
Yep.
How does somebody get a hold of you, especially if they're thinking about commission work, but just to find out more about where you're going to be, what you have available, and how they can see it and purchase?
Usually, Facebook right now is the only thing I have right now.
Okay.
Yep. I have email too, but mostly on Facebook.
Okay. And what's your Facebook name then?
I just changed it. I made a new logo. I'm rebranding my stuff.
Okay.
It is now 3 a.m. Creative.
Okay. I did see that title. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Maybe because, when you search Heather Ellyson, autocorrect always wants to make it an I instead of a Y.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yep.
It's like, come on, I know she's a friend. We have been for years. What do you look at when you go to other shows, though, that maybe inspire you to do something different too?
Oh, I just love getting ideas from other people and seeing what they've done. Like, well, the last show, you said competition. The people next to me had these really cool little earrings they made, and I was kind of jealous because everyone kept buying them. But I went over there and I looked at them and I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like looking at it.
Is it surprising how some of the what maybe years ago might have been thought of more of as a craft has become art?
Yeah. Yep.
I think of that especially with the jewelry and things along that line. And obviously we're probably going to see it with candles too. I mean, it's already being done, but I can't think of anybody locally that's doing candles other than just making scented candles.
Yeah, I know of a gal that does candles, but I don't know that she does. It's usually scents and things like that. And
not so much art.
Well, yeah, sometimes it is.
Okay.
She'll use different containers and stuff. She does pretty cool stuff. She also makes like bath bombs and other things like that. Yeah.
What do you like to paint on besides canvas? Are you
wall?
One of those? Okay.
When I had my house, I made one whole entire room for the grandkids. It was like the ceiling was painted black with stars on it, and the rest of it was blue. And then I had a tree painted on the wall with a moon. That was so much fun.
Yeah. And what is the enjoyment for you, no matter what type of art you're making?
Just it's therapeutic. It's just nice. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
That's a great point. I don't think everybody's ever really said it that it's therapeutic, but almost everybody means it.
Yeah.
Because people get such a joy out of creating.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you one of those that you're your own worst critic?
Yes, definitely. I'm like, oh, I can't sell it like this. And then someone else sees it and they're like, oh, that's beautiful. And then I'll point it out. Like, oh, but it has this flaw. And then they're like, I still like it anyway.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Things don't have to be perfect.
Yeah, right. Because people aren't perfect.
Right.
Nobody is.
Yeah. And what's been your favorite painting that you've done?
It was a commissioned painting of the Marines logo.
Wow.
It was 24 by 24.
Uh-huh.
I just loved the way it turned out. Yeah, that was my favorite. That's my favorite one so far.
And how do you make it yours when you do something like that where you've got a logo and you still want to make it your art?
Just the way I arrange it. And
okay.
That one was a monochrome one. That was a challenge.
Ooh.
Yeah. I used it. It was blacks and grays, but
right.
I mixed in a little bit of blue with each one, so it had kind of a cooler look.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
It just turned out so good. I was so proud of myself.
So you do the you do sketch, but that's primarily to lead you to your drawing or your paintings. Excuse me. And we talk about the fact that you're going to get into some candles. You do some T-shirts, design, and so forth. What other mediums do you like to work in?
I've worked with like Mod Podge and tissue paper before, or paper. Like I've experimented with it. That's fun too.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Well, again, tell people how they can get a hold of you, and then we got to have the final two questions that we always ask.
Okay. So you can get a hold of me on Facebook. The name of my business is 3 AM Creative, and you can message me from there, or you can email me, Heather Ellyson Art, HEATHER, of course, ELLYSON Art @yahoo.com.
All right. Now, well, first of all, one other question.
Okay.
Because you called it 3 a.m. art. Am I on target by saying you get a lot of ideas at 3 a.m.?
Sometimes I do. Yeah. I got the idea for that logo name at 3 a.m.
See, there we go.
Yep.
Those are the things that make businesses click and make them unique as well. And your artwork is unique. I've got a couple of pieces from yours.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. And we'll be on the hunt for more because, we got a few small spaces around here yet.
Yeah, I see a blank spot right there.
Yeah, you see that one, don't you? Everybody spots that one. All right. The final two questions I like to ask, and depending on how you answer the first one might depend upon whether we need to ask the second one. So the first one is, when you're not part of the art and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
I like live music. And live music, basically just hanging out with friends or by myself watching TV because I get peopled out kind of,
Anything you're binging?
Right now? No, not right now.
Okay.
What was the last one I did? I can't remember. I think it was, Medium. I've seen it before, but I binged that one.
Okay.
All the seasons.
Back to the music, though. A good friend of mine always says, live music is good for the soul.
Yes, it is.
I always love that saying. All right. So any other hobbies then?
Basically just that stuff.
That stuff. That keeps you enough, huh?
Yep.
Because you're busy at 3 a.m. creating.
I'm a pretty good cook too. I love cooking. Yeah.
Go-to dish?
Spaghetti.
Unfortunately, diabetic, lots of carbs. So we learned how to have spaghetti squash.
Oh,
now.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
You'd be surprised. All right. Well, Heather Ellyson, thank you so much for the art that you produce. And thank you, obviously, for taking some time to be on the show.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Appreciate it. And we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Comedy magician and hypnotist Jesse Moffat's right. He can't play the piano, but he can sure entertain crowds with his amazing magic and clever quips. His shows always make the participants the stars, especially when they've fallen asleep on stage. They've been hypnotized. Are you the party planner in your group? Then you owe it to your group to make the event magical, even if it puts you to sleep. Here's how.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffitt Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics. Bisque, studio time, or finished custom items are available. Visit TJS Ceramics Studio in Sioux Falls today.
It's another Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment conversation on the Dave Holly Hour.
Just put me on speed dial with this. It's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment because It's true every time. It's true every time that we have anybody on, whether a previous guest or, in this case, another first-time guest, actor Tyler F. Johnson. How are you, sir?
I'm well, Dave. How about you?
If I were any better, I'd be twins. I think we could be.
We probably could, actually. Yeah, we'd make a great.
Yeah. Size-wise, pretty similar. Personality, similar. Yeah. We're happy-go-lucky guys.
Yeah, exactly. We're handsome.
Yeah, exactly. But I do say that I go by the title ruggedly handsome.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
like
ruggedly handsome.
Ruggedly. That's
yes.
Good.
You, on the other hand, when you dress up like a mobster, ooh, baby, what a good-looking guy
sharp.
that's going to break your knuckles.
Ooh, yeah. Johnny, go ahead.
I think of you as a character actor. Is that a fair assessment?
That's probably fair, yeah.
Yeah, based off of what I've seen you in, at least.
Most of my experience has been that, has been definitely that forte.
Yeah. What about it do you like?
It's fun because you can find, it's generally these zany characters, obviously. That's most of them are comedies, but even in the ones that are a little bit more dramatic, I mean, you get to just build what you believe this character actually feels.
Right.
And then you obviously convey that, which is the basic art of acting. But it's that that level of just zaniness that they have that each one of them kind of brings to the table, and bringing them to life is always so much fun.
Do you have a favorite character you've played?
Oh man. So Blake in the last show was a lot of fun to play. He was very kind of a diva.
Yeah.
Of course, Johnny Bubbles. I mean, he was obviously, he got to say a lot of things that were on his mind and didn't hold back, and he was just a really fun character. But I mean, of course, Hector McQueen was good too.
Yeah.
From not that I'm saying my performance of him was good, but the character was fun to play. So
right. Yeah. Well, your performance was good though.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. As it was of Blake.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
That was one of the funniest scenes I've seen to come out of intermission with.
Yeah.
Would you like to describe what took place in that scene?
Well, it was fun because I've always kind of wanted to do a dream sequence. That always sounds so much fun anyway. But that was a dream sequence that basically was the revolving stage of us turning around, with me leading Kelly Walker and Abby Salvi in basic Temptation style or Supremes, with me as Diana, essentially, in a red beehive and fishnets.
Yes.
And a nice red dress. So lipstick even, and pearls. So that was a lot of fun.
Well, and that was you people on one side, and then on the other side, our mutual friend Aaron Sharp.
Oh, in a pig costume. I have a picture. It's one of my favorite pictures from that production, and it's Aaron and I dressed up for that scene. And I just looked at him. I said, "The things we will do for John Bow."
Right.
Like that's
true. Yeah. And the other great part of it is, it's like, it's nothing anybody would use as blackmail against you two, because you own it.
We own it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think we went to the bar, it like that later,
I don't doubt that at all. What got you started as an actor?
It was a long time ago. I was in the second grade. We were reading some book, whatever that, or I guess it was a workbook that had all these different things in it. And one of them happened to be a play. And there was a part for a dragon. You got to play a dragon, and then the rest of the parts were villagers. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool to be a villager? Like, to me, I was like, yeah, that that just sounds fun. Like, whatever. I didn't think I was going to be the dragon, but I got cast as a dragon, and I wanted to do it ever since. And I did a few plays young and all that, and obviously throughout high school, but yeah, I fell off for a little while because I had a daughter, and I wasn't able to get away as much as I could
Right.
and all that while I was raising her. But got back into it in 2009 and slowly kind of worked my way up to doing a few shows a year or a couple shows a year, and it's been great.
Yeah. What inspires you about it, though? What makes you keep wanting to do more shows?
That's a great question. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's so much fun to do this. I really enjoy it. There's a lot of work. And I know that people that are close to me will be like, you get kind of crabby throughout all this or whatever, but it's so much fun. The end result and the building of this community, the community theater around here is thriving. It's doing great. It's doing better than I've ever seen it do. And I am happy to see that. And I think that it's a time for all of us to really come together and build it up as big as we can.
That's a word that gets tossed around a lot on this show is collaboration, not competition. Everybody still wants their piece of the pie.
Right.
But the collaboration that takes place, because is there a theater you've not played?
I haven't done anything with Premiere.
Okay.
And that's nothing personal against.
Back in Sec Days or anything?
I've auditioned a few times.
Okay.
I got cast actually twice, but I turned down for roles when I got because I had gotten roles at Old Town. And, So, I've never done a production with them, which I would love to. I guess I don't do a lot of musicals. I'm not much for musicals.
Yeah.
So,
but there will probably be a time.
There may be. Yeah, absolutely.
And in the meantime, what are we, about 5 weeks out now for They Promised Her the Moon?
I believe it is. Yep. 5 weeks out. Yeah. Geez, thanks for that. No, it's going well. This is an amazing show. It's a great story and I mean, all the characters that are in it and everything are great, but the actors that we have, I mean, we have some heavy hitters.
Oh, no doubt.
And so it's really
good stock.
Very good stock. Very good stock. And it's made it easy for rehearsals and just the kind of the simple stuff. Not that we're skipping the basics, because it's always it's important, but we're certainly.
All right. So tell us your character this time, and what are you doing that makes it another signature Tyler F. Johnson piece?
So, my main character's name is Harvey. I play a few characters in this one, but I play Jerry Cobb's father. And of course, Jerry Cobb is played by Macy Lupica, the wonderfully talented Macy Lupica.
Very much.
And he is this, he's a wonderful character to play because he supports her with all of his heart. He probably has a drinking problem like most men did in the 50s, I guess, but he is very supportive and loving though, and he's no dummy, he's no whatever, he's an Okie, but he's definitely he's got a good head on his shoulders, and you could just tell at least the way he's written, that he really loved his daughter. And supported her, and no matter what.
So what other characters are you?
I also play a reporter that is basically the opposite of Harvey.
Yeah.
Says some pretty not great stuff. And the interesting thing is they've actually pulled transcripts from the old radio transmissions and stuff about the news or whatever about Jerry Cobb. And this is all verbatim stuff. A lot of the reporter stuff, and then of course I play a congressman too, who is also in favor of the women. But he is everything they say is historically accurate too. So yeah.
So we're gonna get a history lesson at the same time.
A history lesson, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the two theaters that you do enjoy being at. You mentioned that to you and Aaron. You said on your fun picture that you had, this is to show what we will do for John Bow.
Yeah, and Old Town.
And Old Town, and I just it's a great place because it always has really, really fun shows. And also has a great meal. I keep telling people, I said, you got to market this different. Come to the best restaurant in South Dakota and see a show for the same
Just
price.
so happens.
Yeah. So that's
a great
already
idea.
cool. But John, is one of those. I've acted with him. I've never acted for him.
Okay.
But when I ask people about what's it like to act for him, it's always loving. It's always, hey,
Yeah.
this guy is awesome to be around.
Absolutely.
And then, he's also the type that he's in some of the shows there as well. So,
Yeah.
what is your perspective on John then?
John is unflappable in my book because of the things I think he's put up with me.
He never fired you.
He
huh?
never fired me. I never even really heard him raise his voice. So, no, John's great. He's got good vision, but he's also willing to hear you out if there is something that you feel might be different or could be different in blocking or whatever it may be. But he's also not afraid to make a decision, and much like Brian Bieber, it's a great quality in a director, obviously. But no, John, I've always enjoyed working with John. I've never gotten the opportunity to act with him, but someday.
Yeah,
So,
well, that'll be a good day to come then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look forward to that. But what's been one of your favorite farces to be in?
that's a great question.
Because his last one looked like a hell of a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. That really was a lot of fun. And of course, doing a show with Aaron Sharp and I mean, how are you not going to have fun doing a show with Aaron Sharp? Of course, Ben Ashwood.
Oh,
I mean, that was
a great performance.
Absolutely. So speaking of Ben Ashwood and Aaron Sharp, I think my favorite has still got to be Rumors. And even though I played a bumbling idiot cop, kind of that came in at the end, whatever, but that show was so much fun to be a part of. It was, of course, Aaron Sharp, Emily Sharp. I mean, Ben Ashwood, Hillary Jansen, you had Andy Heller.
Love Andy.
Yeah, Cindy Krickelberg. Just an all-star cast. So
see, you work with a lot of great ones.
Yeah.
And the fun thing is, they always say, "Yeah, we got to work with Tyler F. Johnson too."
I hope they say good things.
They do. Although they do say what the F is for.
Sure, of course. Yeah. That's not actually my middle initial.
But everybody loves referring to you as that.
They do.
In fact, it's in the playbills, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've even got it on there now. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to Brian Bieber then.
Yeah.
As the MCAP artistic director.
Absolutely.
Tell me what you like about working with Brian.
Brian is great because, and again, much like John, where I feel like there's this director side to him, and there's also like the friend side to him. And he's not afraid to make that decision. He's not afraid to hear you out. But he's also, I think Brian likes to really make sure that you've got emotion flowing through you as your character, whatever emotion that's supposed to be. And he's always asking you, how do you feel about that? Okay, but then how does your character feel? And it in times like has really helped me to kind of understand just the scene better, or just, whatever, maybe not just my character, but I mean, just the whole aspect of it, the bigger picture. When he invokes that question in you, but how do you feel about it?
Like a therapist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I got to experience recently what you do before a show starts down in the dressing room.
Yeah.
The limericks are great.
Aren't they, though?
Yes, they are. That's a bit of fun.
They really loosen up the tongue.
Very much so. There's probably a limerick about that, too.
There probably is.
Do you have anything that you do before a show in terms of how you get ready and get into your character?
I think anybody who has done a show with me knows that I'm in and out the door all the time. I'm kind of pacing around. I may not seem like I'm in the best mood, but I'm totally there. I'm just I think I like that I still get nervous. like that because I don't want this to ever get boring.
Right.
And I want it to still be that thrill of okay, let's go.
You remember your first standing ovation in a cast?
It was.
I didn't get one until I was in my 50s.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it, and we may have got one for Rumors, but that was not because of me. But we did get one in the opening night of we had the last Old Town show.
Movie game.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how did that slip my mind? Sorry.
Yeah.
Of course I was. Yes, the movie game. So that was a lot of fun, and that was intense. I was not expecting it. They were a great audience anyway. But to see that was it. Yeah, I was not expecting it.
Do you have a trick that you use to not break character if somebody is throwing you a line?
I bite my tongue a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. It was tough in the movie game. The especially that first night we had during the scene at the restaurant, kind of towards the end there. My last scene there, we had Samantha Hendricks and Ezra Hunter both break. And Abby started to next to me, and all I could think of was don't break. If I at least hold like somebody's holding this together, like, but the audience was, I mean, they were hooting and hollering at that point. So it was what it was.
Everything was going to be perfect in that
Absolutely.
regard.
Yeah.
It's always that's the thing that, sometimes when somebody breaks it's just even more enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Think back to the old Carol Burnett show, Harvey Korman.
Oh yeah.
And, Tim Conway.
Oh,
and when
legends.
they break. It's just, it was pure gold.
Yeah, and you'd see that, and it was, or even the Saturday Night Lives. I mean,
true.
Yeah.
Broken down van down. So what do you want to do? I want to live in a broken down van down by the river. Oh, so what is it like when you're on stage and all of a sudden a co-actor goes off script?
I internally panic. And it's only honestly happened a few times in my life. And it's for every time that it's happened with other people, it's probably happened with me a few times, where I was the culprit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that there was other people up there that were able to just kind of guide us back into what we were doing. Or I guess John Hardcastle during Dial M for Murder skipped an entire segment, and I kind of had to loop back. I mean, to repeat some stuff, but we chopped it up and up, and he knew when he did it,
right?
So, and he kind of let off, but it was like, and we just kind of sat there for a second, like, okay, now how do we fix this? Because we have to mention this. We have to mention it's Hitchcock,
otherwise a few things are going to get lost.
Right.
All right. What's a role you have not played that you just want to sink your teeth into?
That's funny that you asked. I talked to Brian about this. There's something I really can't, I'm not even going to say the name of it as of right now. But it is one that I am dying to sink my teeth into. It might be done off of the offshoot of the Mighty Corson Art Players, the Storytellers Anonymous.
Okay.
It's a project that I would probably, if we do it, I would be involved with Macy Lupica, Logan Levitt, and myself, and of course Brian. But I can't.
We won't let any cats out of any bag.
All right. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for that, actually. But...
You mean Brian listens to this?
Hi, Brian.
Yeah. Hello, buddy. We love you.
We love you.
How's the theater family for you?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Everybody loves to talk about how it becomes a family, even if you're a first timer. And
absolutely.
Yeah. But, with all the different plays you've been in and performing in different venues, obviously you've got a pretty good extended family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's and the community. I mean, I've met so many people too in it that I've gotten to know and love that I haven't even done shows with yet. You know what I mean? Like just through the whole community but yeah, I mean that as it grows too, it's just getting more and more fascinating.
All right. So up in Corson, that starts on Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
They promised her the moon. What else is on your agenda for the next season?
So possibly the Storytellers Anonymous project.
Mm-hmm.
I recently did I did a shooting with the Last Stop Stories.
Oh,
Dominic
yes.
Winky.
Yeah.
And that was a lot
Ezra's
of fun.
involved in that.
Yeah.
So.
And so is Max Hofer. And,
okay.
But yeah, a lot of people actually. But so I just did that, and I was kind of excited because Dominic mentioned that there might be some other stuff that he's working on that
excellent.
He'd like to reach out to me for. So
so
I'm looking forward to anything like that.
Right.
I did film my first movie, quote unquote, or whatever, this last fall, and I'm looking forward to that coming out soon.
And what is that film about then?
So that one is about these two brothers. I play one of the brothers, and Nathan Holtz is the other brother.
Oh yeah.
And we both are just not good people. And there's some, I guess the whole picture of it, I'm not exactly sure even the plot. Other than it's kind of one of those, where's the money? I don't have the money.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do this for a while. Okay, fine. Yeah. Like peaceful.
All right. So you got some projects in the works, possibly something solid, and a few other things that may be coming about as well.
Certainly.
Awesome.
Certainly. So,
always good to keep busy, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it beats boredom.
Definitely. Definitely.
All right. Final two questions I always like to ask. How you answer the first one might depend on whether we end up having to ask the second one. Okay. So first is, when you're not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
Oh, well, I mean, I love pinball, obviously. There's that.
Yeah.
I do a lot. I mean, I guess I like museums, I guess, but it's still arts and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not very easily entertained if it's not arts and entertainment, I guess.
And any hobbies?
Do a little painting myself.
Okay.
Gotten into a little sculpture and things like that.
Wow.
Nothing really great.
But well-rounded.
Yeah, exactly.
Tyler F. Johnson, it's been a great honor to have you on this show.
It's been my pleasure, David. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we'll be right back and wrap things up here on the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment, 605-334-1463.
He's never met a meal he didn't like. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Thanks again to all of our guests, Brian Bieber, Heather Ellyson, and Tyler F. Johnson. As always, the biggest thanks goes to you for listening and for downloading, for sharing and following on social media, and the cups of coffee. If you haven't so far, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. For all 196 episodes, go online at DaveHollyHour.com. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, my name is Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by TJS Ceramics Studio, Posh Boutique, The Sky and Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, simply buy Dave a cup of coffee. Go to DaveHollyHour.com and click on the coffee cup icon. Don't forget to stay up to date on the show by following on Instagram and Facebook. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.